friends, this is Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead. Well, it's St. Patty's Day, and my corned beef and cabbage and potatoes are in the pot. But I've got lots of cabbage left over because it's usually just Papa and I. So let's make some fermented sauerkraut. Okay, here I have two sort of half heads of cabbage. One's been in the fridge for a while and had to be washed, and the worst part cut off. But here we have, and all we're going to do is we're just going to start shredding it. You know what? I got these peelers from an ad on Facebook. And so far, all I've ever used them for is peeling carrots. And I can't find the shredding one, but apparently this one, look at this. It just shreds the cabbage if you cut the side off. I'm pretty sure any peeler would do that. Yep. But you know what? I don't have the energy. So I'm just cutting my cabbage fairly thin. You don't want any really huge pieces. And I'm not going to, some people leave it in shreds. I'm not. I'm breaking it up as much as possible because it ferments better that way. So into the stainless steel bowl we go, and we salt it. This stuff, see, it'll fall apart eventually, and you use either pickling salt or pink Himalayan salt. You do not want iodized salt. And we're just gonna...
What's the salt for?
This, what the salt does?
Yes.
It draws the water out of the, and I'm not mashing it, I'm just kind of bruising it, and this helps get the juices flowing. What the salt does is it pulls the moisture out of the cabbage, and then it makes water. And then what you do is, I'll show you in a minute. So we're just salting it. I'm going to say per head of cabbage about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of salt. In there, yeah, talk to me, girl. Yeah, you tell me what you need. There we go. This is not easy on the hands. The last time I made sauerkraut, I made it in a 5-gallon pail, and I wrapped the head of a 5-pound maul. I wrapped it in a plastic bag, and Briar just stood there and pounded it while I was slicing it and salting it and putting it in the bucket. But you can see, well, okay, you can't, but...
You can see the water starting to come
It's
off.
starting, but we got to get it... Well, you can see that my hands are wet.
Hello.
Right? This is Jeremy.
This is Jeremy.
He's trying to steal my dog.
I am trying to steal Gracie because I want to take her back to Toronto with me, but
She can't go with you.
Aunt Bev won't let me.
No, Aunt Bev. What's the name of your channel?
CJM Farms.
CJM Farms. Is that how many subscribers you got?
35. And
Woohoo!
rocking, you know, we're just starting at the channel.
Now this is because your property up in Bancroft is totally off grid, isn't it?
Off grid.
And
It does have power eventually because there is a power source, but I'm going to be going off grid first and then taking the steps as I'm building.
that's right. So we want to see you from the ground up. Now you live in Toronto and you just do that during the summer, but do you have plans to like move up there eventually?
I want cows and pigs and the whole chicken and everything.
He's the next generation. And it's another Jeremy. Only instead of Ashley, we have Carmella.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
All right, we're just going to start putting this in the bottle. And I'm going to hammer it every once in a while with a wooden spoon or something, just to keep the juices flowing. But we might as well get it in the jar because it's going to be a pain in the butt to get in the jar after the juices are flowing. Now, this isn't going to be sauerkraut for a couple of weeks, maybe 10 to 14 days. But it is really important that before you set it aside to ferment, that you make sure that the juice is covering the cabbage. So we're putting it in the jar and hammering it down. Be really careful if you're using a meat tenderizer because of your jars. Smash her down in there, folks. Now we are going to leave the lid off of this. I'm just going to cover it with a towel, and every hour or so I'm going to come back and I'm going to hammer it down. And when we get the juice rising above, I got to be really careful around my edges of my jar with this.
You can already see the juice starting on the bottom.
Yeah, the juice is already starting on the bottom. So once we get the juice rising above our cabbage, we'll be back. So as you can see, if I hold it just right, there's quite a bit of liquid that's now forming. Oops. Quite a bit of liquid is now forming, and this comes from the salt and us bruising the cabbage. And as you can see, it's already pushed down. See the juice forming up around there? We want that juice to be completely over the cabbage. Don't use a metal thing, folks. Okay, see the juice coming up? And as soon as we can get that pressed down, we're going to press these. Well, actually, I guess we can do it now. We're just going to put these cabbage leaves over top. Remember I told you to save them? And then we want to put a weight on here. Okay? Okay, I finally found something that'll work. It's a bottle of Mod Podge and it's full. I'm just putting it inside a food grade plastic bag. And I'm just going to put a Tatler lid inside because this is a wide mouth and that isn't. And then I'm just going to slide this down in and press. I'm just going to put this on here to kind of hold the bag in place. Push that down, pull the bag tight, and screw this down. And then every once in a while, when you're walking by, just push down on this. We want to see the liquid above the cabbage. The top leaves, it's not going to matter because we're going to throw them away, but everything else has to be under the liquid. And here now, you can see that the liquid is above the cabbage, and that's exactly what we want. The only bit of cabbage that might be above the water will be removed with the leaves. And in a week to 10 days, that's going to be sauerkraut. Yeah, don't look at my hair. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, I didn't know sauerkraut was that easy. I thought you had to make it in like 5-gallon pails like I did a long time ago. We'll be back to test this in a week to 10 days. Take care, God bless.